What's up, everybody? This is Eric the Unit Norris of SLC Punkcast here with you, bringing this latest episode of Live and Wired to you. And yeah, it's gonna be a pretty busy holiday weekend. I tell you, there's been a few shows, some of them benefit shows that are happening in Salt Lake this weekend because it's the last weekend right before Christmas. So it makes sense that you get all the benefits ready before the holiday, just in time for the holidays. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's basically what's been going on, or what is going to be going on. What has been going on is in this week's episode of Tales from the Pit, boy, was it a busy weekend between my girlfriend playing a set and then my band playing a set, our comeback set. Yeah, this is gonna be a long one for you. So yeah, let's get into this week's episode of Tales from the Pit. It'd be it was kind of loaded. Went from a country show to a hardcore and a metal show. Yeah, I don't know a title for this one yet. I'll think of something. But yeah, this week's episode of Tales from the Pit. So what the first show was, it was the Honky Tonkin' Holidays at the Stateroom, and that was the show that my girlfriend Kate was performing. And they were performing with the bands Highball Train and Triggers and Slips. I do not know who those guys are because, well, I'm not involved with the country scene in Salt Lake, so yeah, this is my introduction to them. And Highball Train, they sounded good. I mean, I was just kind of chilling backstage because, yeah, I know the bands. I was chilling backstage, just kind of bullshitting with all the other band members and slamming back a few beers, taking some shots, and just sort of listening to the other music, and it sounded good from what I was hearing. Yeah, it sounded good. That's what I just gotta say. But the main reason I was there was because my girlfriend was performing, and yeah, she sounded absolutely amazing. She looked amazing. She wore her wedding dress, her old wedding dress from God, I think she's like maybe 8 years ago, a long ass time ago, and she had it dyed red, and then she bedazzled the whole bust with rhinestones, and she said $400 worth of rhinestones on that dress, and then she put a hairpiece on to make her hair look like a raised ponytail, and not even really a ponytail, but it was I don't even know what the name of it would be, but the fact is she looked fabulous. It was very much her. And then, so yeah, she comes out onto the stage and is just serenading the whole audience. And the nice thing was that my parents were there. My mom and dad had never seen Kate perform yet, so this was their first time. And damn, did they put on such a good set. They played quite a few new ones. One of which is actually a title that I came up with. It's actually a term that I've been using to describe pigeons, gutter doves. And gutter doves just sounded like a cool name for a punk band or a punk song, but I wasn't going to use it. Didn't really seem to fit the mold of any of my current projects, so I just sort of sat on it for a second. And then when I told her that term and I referred to it as pigeons, she said, no, that actually is kind of cool. And she ran with that title. I said, yeah, go ahead, have it. Do what you want with it. And then when I arrived backstage, I look at her set list and I'm seeing all the songs that I recognize, and then I see Gutter Doves. I go, wait, you already wrote that? Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm stoked to hear it. Little did I know what that song was about. But when she was introducing it, she was saying, now this next song, I got to dedicate it to my boyfriend, my partner. Where is he? Where is he? And she's like looking out in the audience, and in the stateroom, there's this area for general audiences, the standing area, and then that's when the seat, and then behind it, that's when the seats begin, and they go back and they're ascending all the time. and I was sitting in the very first row with my mom and dad, and that was the first time I'd ever been pointed out at a show. Well, no, it's not the first time that I've been pointed out, but it was the first time when I was pointed out as the singer's boyfriend, and that there was a song dedicated to me. And yeah, Gutter Doves was dedicated to me. Anyway, the spotlight is coming over, and I go, I guess I gotta stand up. So I stand up, and I just raise, hey, everybody, I'm the singer's boyfriend. What's up? I'd never had that happen to me before, but then again, I haven't exactly dated performing musicians before, so this is a first for me. But it was great. It was great. And then she plays the song Gutter Doves. Well, before she plays it, she actually introduces it and saying how Gutter Doves is referring to pigeons, and of course how I came up with the title. And it's referring to pigeons. And pigeons are a monogamous breed of bird. They actually are very protective of their mates, and they will basically fight to the death for them. So, something to that degree. And I said, oh God, this is fucking adorable. Not only is she using the title, using the sort of phrase I came up with as the title of one of her songs, but she's also dedicating it to me and using the pigeon as a sort of metaphor for our relationship. That's like a hat trick right there, that was a triple... Yeah, a triple threat. I had literally never had a song written about me. A love song, anyway. Well, no, I never really had song. As far as my knowledge goes, there were no songs written about me, except for a diss track from some rapper way back in 2013. This little local rapper called Tommy B, and he wasn't calling me out. He was just calling me and all my friends out. Not even by name, just by the name of this. Just by the name of this brand that we were trying to start. And he didn't even say it outright. He used it as a sort of like a reference. I don't even remember what it was. I don't even remember what it was called. I don't think anybody remembers him except for me in that hilarious memory, but that doesn't matter. That was then, this is now. What's happening now is I now officially have a song. No, not just one song. Apparently 3 other songs. No, 2 other songs. 3 songs in total that are about me, all of which were played during this set. But I'm not going to make this about me. Let's focus on the task at hand. Kate was absolutely wonderful. She just had such a great presentation about her. Her voice sounded amazing, even though she roughed it up a little bit because it was sore the next couple of days. I know this because I had to hear about it. And yeah, everything in between, she was just, she had such great audience interaction. She was just getting people really excited. She was making jokes on stage, and even just like making light of the subject matter of what the next song would be, because she wrote some pretty depressing songs. Well, yeah, there's songs about like her mom who has dementia. There's songs that she wrote about her, about the days leading up to her divorce, or like realizing how the magic has gone in the relationship, and also songs about overcoming addiction. Yeah, heavy stuff. Very like, very dark subject matter, but she's saying like, this is a happy song. This is a happy song about my mom who's overcoming dementia. Anyway, that she just starts playing it. It's just fun watching performers do that. She was just on the ball with that one. And also one of the musicians from the band that played before them, the Highballers, the High Rollers, Highball Train. Highball Train. I can't remember his name, but he played the slide guitar, and he actually came out on the stage with them for a few songs. Actually, it might have been the whole set. I don't remember, but he was out there, and he was it was basically a guest star. He was a guest musician, hitting the slides on a lot of their songs, particularly the last one, which was a Christmas song, which apparently is also about me. Well, not about me, but it's more like, it's a song how she was comparing her Christmas from last year and how depressing it was, comparing to the potentially much better Christmas this year because she actually has someone to celebrate with. Yeah, very sultry, sappy holiday stuff. It's basically a Hallmark movie in the form of a country song. Yeah, but I'm flattered nonetheless. Love you, babe. And there's another song written about me. I can't remember what it's called, at least not off the top of my head, but it is referencing how we were it's kind of your typical love song setup, two lost souls with broken hearts. They find solace in each other and like try and put me back together. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, put me back together. It's sort of like how we're helping each other rebuild ourselves and forming a bond in the process. So cute. Okay, yeah, enough about me and my girlfriend. How about just my girlfriend and her band and the rest of this show? Well, yeah, to me, in my opinion, Kate LaDuce was the showstopper that night. That was the main, people were saying like she was the main headliner. She may not have been the headliner, but she might as well have been the main act because the band that followed after them, the Hairs. Not the Hairs, the Triggers and Slips. They were good, but their music really wasn't that exciting to me. It was they were slow and they were long. It just wasn't very gripping. And after a while, I'm kind of bored. I'm going to go hang out by the merch table. And yeah, that was about all I had to say about the show. They're sad anyway. But that was the thing. Like Kate LaDuce and her band. I'm not just saying that they were the best act of that night because I'm her boyfriend or anything, but because they had the liveliest performance. They were just a hot ticket item, I think. I could not. I'm just happy that this was my parents' first time seeing her, and this was like such a pinpoint show. Pinpoint, just, like I said, on the ball. On the ball, hit the nail on the fucking head, however you want to describe it. They just really brought it. It was even at the point where she brought my mom to tears. She was having such a good time. So yeah, good on you for that. It was a great time. It was a great time. But then after a while, we just said, all right, let's just empty out the backstage, load everything up. Let's just get to the bar and have a good time. And yeah, we did go to the bar, went to Willie's, had a pretty fun time over there, just to drinking and having fun. And then we went to an after party at her friend Megan's house, the same Megan Green, who she performed with about a month ago with her other friend Mac to do backing vocals. Anyway, we went to her house, drank a little more. Well, I didn't exactly drink. I was more concerned about getting fed. So I said, so she's saying, do you want to go to her house for a sort of after party? It won't be anything crazy. I just say, will there be food? Will there at least be food? And there was. She ordered a few pizza pies, and I just sat there in the kitchen gorging myself like, I gotta eat. But anyway, that was the after party story of that Tale from the Pit, the after pit. Anyway, the very next night was the Christmas Prikfest. Prikfest Christmas. Prick Christmas. I like to say Prickmas, much to the chagrin of the founder, Chris Schmid. It was an awesome show. I mean, there was a lot of things crammed into that day
leading up to the show. My band Anonymous had a last-minute band session because, we're a whole new lineup. 4 new members, 5 including me, because I'm not a new member, I'm the founding member. What am I saying? But the fact is we had to make sure that everything was like as tight as it could possibly be. Because we had 5 songs, one of which was only being learned a couple weeks ago. And from the last time I saw it, Josh, my guitarist, did not have the whole thing down yet. And they did practice it while I was away, while I was in Idaho Falls. And then when I saw heard them the next practice session, I said, okay, we're getting closer. And then the practice session right before the show, I was like, okay, I have faith. Everything sounds pretty accurate. I guess the only holdup is me, because I don't even know all the words to my own fucking lyrics. Shit. I've been out of practice. But the show, I got there, and as I was loading in, the first band, Willow, was playing. And Willow was cool. I didn't get to hear much of their sound, but they sounded like a pretty straightforward punk rock. They were a 3-piece. They just had that old school 70s energy about them. I'll have to go back and listen to more of them because I liked it. I just need to hear more of it. Yeah, and then I had to dip out, go get my girlfriend, get my Kate from the house, and I missed most of the next band, which was the Goon Bats. And the Goon Bats are a lot of fun, just a 2-piece, noisy sort of garage jammy type band. They're just they're fun. They really put out some good energy. But I only got there to really hear the last 2 songs that were played. But hey, they were great songs. They were really great songs. The band that followed them, God, who the fuck came after them? I think it wasn't us. It was, Pirates. Pirates of the Promised Land. This is the second time I played a show with them, but the first time with Anonymous playing the show. And Pirates, they're just super fun. It's super fun, catchy skate punk that just gets the crowd moving, gets them a little excited. Yeah, just the type of music puts a smile on your face. And the guys, they were all dressed up as Christmas characters. It was a 3-piece, all right? Their bassist was dressed up as Santa. Their guitarist was dressed up as an elf. And their drummer was dressed up as a reindeer. Okay? And I remember in my Instagram story, I was going along filming them. And then I make a little description in the text box that says, we have Santa, we have an elf, and Rudolph the beer-nosed reindeer. And yeah, the drummer, forget her name. I feel bad. Met her a bazillion times. I keep forgetting her name. She thought it was absolutely hilarious. Beer-nosed reindeer. So yeah, Pirates of the Promised Land and Goon Bats and Willow, they were all great at warming up the audience. And the next band was me. And boy, the butterflies really hit me when we were about to take the stage. And also I got to mention that Satan himself, the guy Satan himself, he's the one who does like all the banter. He's just sort of keeping the audience's attention in between sets. He'll do like a little performance. He'll sing a song. He'll have a little story to tell. He'll make some jokes here and there. It's that's his shtick. That's what Satan himself does. That's what Satan be doing. So he was up there doing his thing, introducing the bands and everything. And as we were setting up, I remember all the time, Josh was still not there. He was not at the show. He showed up for practice, and then he had to go run a few errands, as he said. And I was gonna take his gear to the show, and I did. I brought his amp, and yeah, that was about it. That was about all that he needed me to take with. And yeah, we get there, And they're backlining amp cabs, so I just put the amp on the cab and just hope to God that he would show up, because we didn't even have the cables, we didn't even have his guitar, so it's not like we could sound check the guitar for him. It had to be plugged in, and he was on his way. He was just stuck in traffic, but still, we're just like waiting. It's like we're supposed to go on in 10 minutes. Where the fuck is he? He did show up. He showed up, hurriedly plugged in his guitar and got his whole setup like to where he needed it. And I said, okay, I can rest easy now. Now I can just focus on what lyrics I need to memorize. So that's kind of where that's where it sort of left for a minute. And then, Satan himself gets up on stage. He introduces us, and there's some sound swells going on in the as like sort of stage walking music or just the overhead sounds or whatever. It sounded cool, and I'm just kind of standing there, just looking out at everybody with a big smile on my face, like, good to be back. And then I just introduce us like, hey, we're anonymous. Let's do it. And then we just go right into Halo Head. And we played Halo Head, went into Warmongers, and then then we had the break, we tuned, and then we did the song Parasite, and then we did Vice, and then we closed with Abandoned Existence. And Abandoned Existence was the one that I was most worried that if we were going to get. And for the most part, everything went off without a fucking hitch. Oh man, we got the audience moving. We got them like, they were just going fucking nuts. I had them they were doing circle pits, they were doing push pits, they were all headbanging so fucking hard. People got a lot of footage. Lots of footage. We have yet to release it. A lot of footage of us. And yeah, the songs themselves, as I was hearing them, I mean, Josh and Tara and Bryce and Jay, they said they made some mistakes, and I go, yeah, I heard them, but it wasn't enough to throw us off, like, not by a long shot. We were like 90% in the pocket, and that was more than I could have hoped for. More than I could have even really expected, because, yeah, it's not going to be fucking pitch perfect. No matter how much you practice, there's always going to be a few mistakes, but I barely noticed it. The audience certainly didn't seem to notice it. And also, my parents were in attendance as well. And my mom, this was great. But later I learned that my mom was actually singing along with the lyrics that I wrote. I go, holy shit, that is something really, weird. It is kind of weird. It's like my mom, who does not listen to heavy music like at all, except for my band. She routinely plays Anonymous's demo tape when she is driving because she gets so angry at the cars, the other drivers, that she has to listen to my music so that I can be angry for her. Those are her words, not mine. It's actually pretty hilarious. Just knowing that my mom is singing along to the lyrics that I wrote it's pretty flattering. It's pretty awesome. Sort of like, yeah, I'm proud of my son. Goddamn, this was the comeback show that Anonymous really needed. This is like, not to discredit our sort of comeback. I like to call it the trial run that we did back in August for mine, Josh's, and Bryce's birthday at Poser Palace. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't where I wanted the band to be. It wasn't in its full form yet. We were still just 4 people playing the songs. We only had 4 songs, so it wasn't a full set. And I was like, okay, next one will be better. That will be the real comeback. And yeah, this one at Prikfest 2025, Christmas Prikfest 2025, that was Anonymous's real comeback show. And people were just coming up to me afterwards saying how much they loved the show and how much they, just when is your next one? Do you have shirts? Let me buy your shirts and all this fun shit. I just loved that feeling again.
I love that feeling that Anonymous is now playing shows and we're now getting traction. We're getting people who actually want to hear more of us. I remember Ethan from Cargo Cult came up to me and he said, dude, your band Apathetics, I mean, you guys are good, but I think Anonymous is much better. I go, well, thanks, man. I mean, we're two very different bands, but thank you. Two very different bands, and I love what I do for both of those bands, but this is just kind of a weird compliment. But yeah, and people were just so fucking excited. And one thing that was cool is my old guitarist, Ethan Beher, he actually showed up. Unfortunately, he missed our set, but it was nice of him to drop by, especially with the last health scare that he had. Not to go into too much detail, and also just because I can't pronounce what his condition was. Basically, he is now a type 1 diabetic. It almost cost him his life. The way he puts it is his blood practically turned to acid, and it would have killed him had he not checked himself to the ER. But he's doing good now. He's doing good. He's just, like what most any diabetics would have to be doing, watching what food they were eating, watching their sugar intake. He's completely stopped drinking. And yeah, he showed me his little emergency pack that he has to carry with him. Showed me it's like when if I go limp, if I start fading away, just take one of these capsules, shove them up my nose, and then call 911 immediately. I'm like, okay, man, I got you. It was really that huge of a fucking scare. I remember when he called me the day he got discharged from the hospital and just laid it all on me, and I was so scared for him. But I'm so happy to hear that he's doing much better now. To see that he's doing much better. It was awesome of him to show up. Love that guy. I do wish he was still in my band, but he's obviously got other shit to worry about. And he's doing well with his other band, Frick. Sid's band that he joined. That's still a good band. I'll have to go see them play. Anyway, back to the show. Yeah, after Anonymous played our set, a very stellar set. I'm still riding off the high on that one. That's when we had the intermission. So the intermission was Chris Prick himself doing a DJ set. And not just a DJ set, he had strippers. There were strippers. Oh my God, he had I think it was 5 or 6 strippers all onto the stage. They're all doing pole dancing and doing just all the sexy moves that you would expect strippers to be doing. And how did he manage this? Because he actually works at a strip club. He told me the name of it, I can't remember, but it's not too far away from Aces. And he works as a DJ over there. And he's just bringing a little bit of that strip club, bringing a little bit of culture to Aces High that night. And it was great. I joked with him saying, why don't you have him strip to Christmas music? He said, well, just wanted to keep him with the setting. So he actually had him dancing to a lot of, all of the 2000s and emo, hard metalcore, and even some new metal going on there. I recognized them, they were playing Tears Don't Fall by Bullet for My Valentine. And a lot of friends of mine were all singing those lyrics. Tears don't fall. It's a classic. It's a classic. I don't listen to much Bullet anymore. I'd never listened to much of them to begin with, but they still have some good shit. There's still some good stuff to be heard off of some of classic Bullet for My Valentine records before they went total, almost complete speed metal in the post Scream, Aim, and Fire days. And so basically how they are now. But that doesn't matter. The funny thing was, the very last song that Chris played for the strippers, it was Down with the Sickness. Down with the Sickness. And people were fucking moshing to that song. I'm just thinking, put into perspective. You're at a heavy metal bar in the middle of Salt Lake
where a lot of local metal bands are playing for a Christmas festival. And the intermission is a bunch of strippers dancing to Down with the Sickness while the audience is moshing to it. When you put it like that, this is pretty weird. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Long story short, it was, but it was awesome. So yeah, Chris Prick, he did a good DJ set, and also people were helping to themselves for his bowls of gumbo. It was such good gumbo. Oh man, I think I had like maybe 3 bowls of that. It was so sultry, so tasty. I mean, the guy's from New Orleans, so what do you expect? And also my friend Mark, he was out back in the back parking lot, and he was like roasting ribs. Not even roasted, just like pretty much baking them. Had a whole like iron tub, this big iron bucket with a fire going on inside, and he had these ribs, full racks on skewers, just hanging in there, just cooking. And yeah, I had a couple of those. He said he made them specifically for the bands, so don't eat too much of them. Make sure everybody gets a piece, pretty much. I said, well, I'll have 2. I'll eat one for my bandmate who doesn't eat meat. so yeah, it worked out. And it was good. It was such good ribs, good gumbo. It was very well fed, and it didn't cost me a cent. All I had to do was play. It was fucking awesome. So anyway, the strippers were great. Strippers were a lot of fun to watch. Threw some cash at them because, well, they were really good at what they were doing, and they looked good. They looked good while doing it. And then the next band to take the stage was Trigon. That is how you spell it? Yeah, Trigon. That's how you say it. Yeah, Trigon is they are like a blackened death metal band, really more on the, a lot of emphasis on the blackened side. They came up and they're like wearing cloaks, they got their faces painted, and they look so menacing and demonic. And I'm just sitting in one of the booths with, hanging with Ethan and also Jay, my drummer. And we're just sitting there just like bobbing our heads like, yeah, this is some fucking good shit. Hail Satan and stuff. It was great. They put out a really great set. I like Trigon. I like him a lot. But who should follow them but Cargo Cult? Cargo Cult, I've seen them a bunch of times, played with them a bunch of times, and this time was... and they always brought it. This time was no exception. They always fucking bring such good energy to that stage. I love their sound. I love that rockabilly swagger they add with just critical punk rock attitude. And their singer, Ethan, he just absolutely kills it on stage. And their guitarist, Ilya, he is just going from back and forth, like, on the stage, just kind of staring at everybody like, you know what it's all about, motherfucker. And yeah, they once again covered Holiday in Cambodia. That was always fun. And they get the audience all riled up with their "Fuck the Government" song, especially with the bluesy verse, the bum 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 bum. So fun. They are a fun band. I really like them. I love them. I like them so much. Love them so much. Blah 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 blah. Okay, there's only so many times I can say I love you. And then the next band to come up, Restroyer. Restroyer, I haven't seen them in a long time. This is basically a couple of the same members of Pirates of the Promised Land. And yeah, Restroyer just absolutely kills it. They had, that was sort of the mellow band between like all the, between the fucking craziness of, well, the sort of the brooding nature of Trigon, and then the craziness of Cargo Cult. And now Restroyer is just sort of like setting things right before the headliner comes on. So Restroyer, it was pretty calm considering the atmosphere. And at that point, some people have been like fumbling out, just sort of. They got other places to be, or maybe they're too tired, or they saw the bands that they really wanted to see and couldn't be bothered with the rest. Typical festival stuff. The crowd had kind of thinned out at this time, and I'm just thinking, boy, we really played the sweet spot. Because there was Because there was a lot of people at the show by the time we were going on. Like, the audience had bulged, you know. I'm not saying that they were there for us. I'm just saying that coincidentally, you know, we were playing when the audience members had reached its peak. Like, the attendance was at its peak. So it's sort of going like this, and then it was going like that while Restroyer was playing, which is, you know, which kind of sucks. You're kind of in the lull period. And I'm just thinking, well, if you're headlining a bar show, especially with one as extensive and as long as this one, that's kind of a death sentence. You're going to be playing to nobody. I've done it before. That's basically what happens. But right before the final band of the night is going to play, that is Acid Hologram, all the metalheads start showing up. And it was actually because there was another show going on that night. Cattle Decapitation was playing at the Urban Lounge with Frozen Soul and also, I can't remember the name. It wasn't Tomb Mold. Doesn't matter. It was a death metal show. And by the time Acid Hologram was about to take the stage, the Cattle Decap show had finished. It was done. So they had to hightail it all the way back to Aces to catch their set. So Acid Hologram was very fortunate to have that happen, because I love Acid Hologram. I love those guys. I think they write some amazing, heavy-ass fucking music, and they're just such sweethearts, all three of them. All three of them. Zach, Max, Sam. Your stellar musicians, your stellar people, and that was a stellar set that you played. I was watching mostly from the side stage because at that point I was really tired. And I wasn't planning on getting super crazy, even when they did the Wall of Death, which was awesome. But I did get up on stage with Max, as I usually do when they do their cover of Peach's Fuck the Pain Away. Because, yeah, I gotta do that. I just have to. Oh, and for Zach and Sam, they were telling me that this is the first time that they got to see Anonymous play. I go, really? Fuck. Not only is it the first time that we'll be playing together, it's first time we'll be playing together. It's the first time that you'll be seeing us. Yeah. I do have to mention one other thing. I forgot. Wicked Temple. They also played. So yeah, right after... they played, I believe it was right after, Jesus Christ, right after Trigon. And yeah, that was when I used up the rest of my moshing and headbanging energy, because Wicked Temple, they're just so goddamn heavy. They are so goddamn heavy, and I was so happy to be playing a show with them again. Only this time it actually made sense. Actually, no, I never played a show with them. What am I saying? Apathetics never played with Wicked Temple, and this is the first time Anonymous played with them, definitely. That was, they just always put on a good set. They opened up the show with Everlasting Scars, my current favorite song by them, and they also played Maniac. They played some new material. They closed the set with They Live, or, no, they didn't close with They Live. They closed with Brightburn. Brightburn is such a fun song. I mean, all their songs are really fucking fun. Yeah, almost forgot to talk about Wicked Temple. There were so many bands. It's hard for me to gotta keep track. I don't even remember half the time where exactly they played. So yeah, it was Trigon, then Wicked Temple, and then Cargo Cult, and then Restroyer, and then Acid Hologram. So yeah, Acid Hologram, close out the night. Close out the Prikfest. They are basically, they're one of Chris's favorite bands in Salt Lake right now. I think his absolute favorite is Cudney. And Cudney, he was begging Cudney to play this festival. I wanted him to play this festival. That would have been so awesome. But they are kind of taking a break right now. They're not broken up. They're just on hiatus. That's what their guitarist, Ben, was telling me. They just are sort of... the tour that they went on last summer kind of broke them as a band, so they just they're in a state of introspection, reevaluating, and then they're going to get back in the saddle at one point. I say, well, hopefully sooner rather than later. We miss you guys. We miss you. Oh, and another unfortunate thing, Al Ghul couldn't be on this bill because their drummer got arrested because he is apparently a shit human being. I mean, that's their words, not mine. That's just, I don't even know the guy. All I know is that Al Ghul is an awesome band. I'm really bummed that I didn't get to see them play, but hopefully they get a better person as their drummer, or a better drummer in general. I don't know. The guy sounded like a good drummer to me, but again, I don't know the fella, so I can't say. I'm just watching from the sidelines the drama unfold around him and whoever he's wronged. But yeah, Al Ghul, still a great band. Hopefully they're able to pick themselves back up again. So it kind of sucked that they weren't able to play this year. Maybe next year. Anyway, that is the story. That is the tale of my very extensive, busy fucking weekend. From honky tonk to gumbo and strippers. That was what a way to really bring in the season. And if you aren't feeling the holiday spirit, well, don't worry. Salt Lake has got plenty of live shows that are coming up this weekend to help sort of to exterminate the humbug in you. How about that? Exterminate the humbug. Yeah. I mean, this Saturday is already pretty fucking loaded. There are a couple of shows happening. This Saturday the 20th. Here's what we got. Up at Black Lung Society, Weed Hemoth, High Charity, Warm Veins, and Plumeria are playing a show. I think this is Warm Veins' first show. If you don't remember, Warm Veins is a band that was started by Josh Recker from Suffocator. Suffocator is on a hiatus right now, but Warm Veins is his project, along with the drummer. Why can't I remember his name? Suffocator's drummer. That's their more shoegaze project, and it's awesome. It really is awesome. I played a song of theirs about I want to say a month ago, something or other, on the Punkcast. Definitely check them out. They are a lot of fun. So I'm pretty sure this is their first show. Once again, Black Lung Society. It's $12. Starts at 7 p.m. And then also going on. And this isn't in Utah, it's actually all the way up in Idaho. My boys in the Never Don'ts are actually playing up at the Chop Shop in Pocatello. I'm so stoked for them. I'm stoked for Never Don'ts getting out there. It's not like this is their first time out on the road. They did a Northwest tour a few months ago, and it was good for them. They got their name out there. But it's nice that they're getting a bit of a following in Pocatello. Pocatello's awesome. They got a pretty fucking good scene up there. It's a small scene. It's a very small town. It's a college town, but they go hard. They go hard up there. Anyway, they'll be playing with Pork, Lee Harvey and the Sharpshooters, Zap Pack. Yes, that is what it says. Zap Pack. Looks like a splat. Looks like just a crack in the fucking... looks like a crack in the screen. That's what it looks like. But yeah, that's Zap Pack. And then something I forgot to say. Once again, that's up at the Chop Shop in Pocatello. It's $10. It starts at 6 p.m. And now let's get into the benefit shows. There are 3 benefit shows that are happening in Salt Lake this Saturday. First is the Wild West Booking Toy Drive, brought to you by Wild West Booking. That is going to include the bands X Forever War X, then Run It Back, Taste of Blood, Knife Point, and Skin Show. That is going to be at One Love Coffee. And it's basically, I assume it's a free show if you come in with 2 to 3 unopened toys. Well, I mean, that's the admission, 2 to 3 unopened toys. If you don't have toys, I think the admission is $10. I honestly don't know. I said on a previous flyer it said $10. And then, yeah, I don't know what their... I don't know what the pricing is around that, but just bring cash just in case. But really, just bring a couple of unopened toys. Bring a little, bring some figurines, bring some stuffed animals, bring some, anything that kids are into these days. So there's that.
Meanwhile, there's brought to you by Parker McIntyre, the 8th annual Anti-Christmas Suicide Prevention Benefits Show. He actually asked if Anonymous could play that one, but I turned it down because I thought we were playing a show elsewhere that day. Apparently we were not, but, whatever, it's okay. It's okay. I know he likes to keep it consistent where it's a different band every year. Aside from his, of course, his band, Captain Daniels and the Sunnybrook Sailors, as you can see, are playing there. But he tries to change it up every year. New bands every year. And this lineup includes All Systems Fail, Power Beer, Ribbons, and Paramecium, and the Delphic Quorum. So pretty fucking solid lineup. I'm stoked for that one. That's going to be at Aces High Saloon. It's going to be $15. And it's starting at 7 p.m. All money's going to Suicide Prevention Hotline, I believe. Then finally on the 20th, the last Christmas benefits show is Friendsmas. Well, Friendsmas Eve. And the punk rock Christmas, that's something that our friends in Racist Kramer put on every year. And they're doing it this year with Atypical Heroes and MPNK. And as always, we'll be at Urban Lounge. And this year, the money being raised is going to the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition. So I think that's something we can all get behind. We don't want, especially during Christmas, nobody wants to get beat up by their fucking husband or wife or any other significant other, or your mom or your dad. It's just, it's just shitty. Abuse is shitty. Stop that. So yeah, that's this coalition is doing what they can to help prevent such horrible actions like that, and yeah, our boys in Racist Kramer are helping to raise money for them. So good on them. Make it if you can. And then on the 21st, the winter solstice, My Pet Spider, Portrait of the Sisters, Echoes of Amara, and Words of Contempt, Bloody September, and Caloplasia. This will be their first show, all playing at One Love Coffee. That is a $10 show, and it's starting at 6 p.m. It's on a Sunday, folks, so hopefully you don't have other plans. And then the first show after Christmas that I have here is on the 27th. That is going to include the bands Circle 7, Volatile, High Charity, Sectide, Contraferous, Freedom Before Dying. That's going to be up in Ogden at Black Lung Society. It is a $10 show if you have cash, $12 if you're paying with Venmo, and it's starting at 6 p.m. Well, guys, that's all I got for the for this episode of Live and Wired and Tales from the Pit this week. And yeah, if you don't see me until after the holidays, I wish you guys a very happy holiday, whatever it is you celebrate. Or if you don't celebrate anything at all, I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have a fun time with whatever it is that you are doing, and hopefully you can make it out to some of these shows or any shows that you are planning on going to. And yeah, hopefully you return unscathed. And if you do return scathed, hopefully you have a good story to go along with it. I'm going to turn it over to Dustin now, who's going to tell you about other shows that'll be happening elsewhere in the country. And yeah, once again, I am the unit, SLC Punkcast, Live and Wired, and Tales from the Pit. Signing off until next week. I'll see you in the pit. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Eric. And now we're going to go around the world. But before we do, I forgot to mention last week, I did go see Beton Army when they came through here in Salt Lake on December 5th. It was the day that I did editing for the previous, not last week, but the previous one for Live and Wired. And I spaced it until after I was done. I was like, oh, shit. Well, I do want to quickly mention Beton Army. That's the third time I've seen him this year. I saw him in Vegas. I saw him in L.A., but I got to see him here. Cool venue, like intimate venue. Kilby Court, if you're familiar with Salt Lake. It is a small venue, but it was awesome. They were fantastic. I missed both the local bands, Power Beer and Makana, but I've seen Power Beer. I think I've seen Makana before, but I've seen Power Beer. They're awesome. Seen them a couple times. But I got there just before Dark Thoughts, who was touring with Beton Army, and they were great. If you like Teenage Bottle Rocket, they're a band out of Philly for fans of Teenage Bottle Rocket, and they killed it. Beton Army, even there's probably like 75 to, I don't know, 80, 85 people, somewhere in that range. Maybe even closer to 100. There's a lot of people packed into that small spot, and Beton Army killed it. Everybody moving around. That was put on a really great show. I mean, like I said, I've seen 3. Renaissance is a killer album. And I'm mentioning that because they are going to be going on tour again in March. They're actually coming, well, I think it's like February, March. They're going to be in Salt Lake with Homefront, so I'm for sure going to go see that show. And that's why I'm mentioning it to you, as if they come through your neck of the woods, you definitely should. Anyway, on with the show. We've got the Harrington Saints 20-year anniversary reunion show. I love Daryl, love Harrington Saints. I just didn't work out financially for me. And so I really hope they do something else, because I mean, and the lineup was killer too. So even if they do something else, you won't necessarily get that lineup. And I want to see all of those other 3 bands, Ultrasect, Rally Cry, The Fit. But that's happening tomorrow, the 20th, $17, 8 p.m. at the Ivy Room in Albany, California. Big D's birthday. Happy birthday, Daryl. I'm glad that you guys are doing your 20-year anniversary reunion show, and hopefully at least a couple one-offs here and there that I will hopefully get to travel to. After that, we are going to Pittsburgh. This is Saturday, December 27th, after Christmas at 7 p.m. show. $5. You get to go see 65 Rats, The Cheats, Drastic Action, and Navin something. What is that? Navin and the Jerks. There we go. And that is very small. Anyway, that is at Fermata Brewing Company. Go check it out. It's between the holidays. Bunch of cool bands there, so go check them out. Next, let's go December 20th. That is this weekend. A $20 with food donation or $25 without food donation show. This is in Troy, New York, at the Hangar on Hudson. You get to go see School Drugs, Take Steps, Grand Street, Cheap Heat, Schenectavoids, and No Division at 6 p.m. Go check it out. Benefiting Albany Food, Not Bombs. So go support before Christmas. And then the next one is one Eric mentioned, but I just quickly want to point it out. Our pals in Racist Kramer always putting on this great show and raising a ton of money for the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition, but that's here in Salt Lake on the 20th at Urban Lounge. Go be a part. I think the show's free, but go and buy the tickets for the drawing. That's one of the ways I think that they're raising a lot of money, and they, like I said, they do a ton. So go see it. Go see MPNK, Atypical Heroes, and Racist Kramer at Friendsmas Eve. Then up at Barland Theater, and I believe this is in Seattle, I want to say, or Spokane. Maybe it's the Spokane, sorry. It is the Sonic Solstice live at the Garland Theater. It's the 19th and 20th. It's an all-ages show. You get to see Room 13, Poise, Psychic Death, It's a Setup, Wicked Issue, X-Reality, POTUS, and it is a pretty cool lineup, man. It's $15. Music's at 6:30, doors at 7, though, and that's on Friday. And then on the Saturday, you get all of those other bands. It is $15 per session or $25 for the weekend. So obviously, if you can make it out for the whole weekend, make sure you get out for the whole weekend, because there are a lot of other bands. Next, we got a 2-day festival in Dresden at Ostpol. You get to see Oistress, East End Chaos, and Smart Attitude, and that's the warm-up show tonight. It's probably happening right now. But then tomorrow on the 20th at Semifabrik. Hopefully I've got that close. It's Skin Sex, Made of Ace coming in town, Collapse, Violent Times, all cool bands there. So if you are in the Dresden area, make sure that you go see those bands. And I'm going to wrap it up with this show that's happening tonight. It's not too late. Get your tickets at Eventbrite. You can see Angry Samoans. They're doing the 13th annual Slabby Holidays. They'll be playing with The Plagues, Big Attitude, and High Compression at Poorhouse in Oceanside, California. That's today. It's 21 and older. 7:30 show. Thank you again for tuning into this week's Live and Wired and Eric's Tales from the Pit. And kind of mine. Mine was brief, but it's definitely recommended. They're wild, man. Beton Army, fantastic. So definitely go see them. But we will catch you the next time.